September 17th, 2025. With all this big chaos, I've got so many storms around me. I have my new husband and his thieving stepchildren inciting his son, Rick. Now, none of this should be happening. I want you to think about this. Not a damn thing should be happening. Mm-mm. I ain't a little bit. Only thing that happened is Carl and I got a mobile home to live in for one level. Brenda's kids were so mad that he got a nicer place to live. Didn't tell them because they think they own him and he's a dog. He couldn't move without their permission. Now the police and the FBI have them saying that. They lied to the judge. They never said it. You do need to get him for perjury, at the very least. Extortion, I found about 60 grand in checks. They got him for another 6,000 in cash in 2 months. Where he said they bullied him out of over a 50,000 more. I'm sure they did. They got 6 grand in 2 months. So over 2 years, saying 50,000, it's not unreasonable. Now, when I finish going through his checkbook, I'm sure I'll find more checks where they cashed. See, that's the whole thing. They committed perjury and lied in that courtroom under oath. And that crooked judge on September 10th, 25 in Tuscarawas County Courthouse let him get away with it. Carl's telling him he's afraid for life. They threatened his life. He's beat him before. He's like, oh, yeah, I beat him before I was a teenager. Carl's like, liar. It's like only 10 years ago. Fight for his life, beating up a 60-something-year-old man. So the only thing saved him was he got a hold of his throat and squeezed. He said, I never want him around me again. He has the right to say that. And then that Deb lying to people, he's the only daddy I've ever had. Like the investigator said, we all knew she grew up with a father in the home. All of them did. Brenda just divorced their dad 6 months before she met Carl. Deb's a grown woman of 26, married, living with her husband and child. Had a father her whole life. And they're lying to a judge how much Carl means to her. So investigators have been, and then she grabs a hold of she walks out, laughs at me, and then after everything, she walks up to Carl, bends over, and Carl's like this, and she's, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, Carl, oh, yeah. French throwing herself sexually at her stepfather. That's in his 70s now. Public display of her throwing herself sexually at him. Sleazeball. She's 6 foot, built like a quarterback, linebacker, football player, 350 pounds, giant feet like a man, hair cut off like a guy, and no teeth. And she smelled. And I'm like, Carl. And then she takes him out and says, yes, I was like, throwing herself sexually at her older stepfather. Disgusting. And see, then I have lady investigators. We all know Deb had a father in her house her whole life. Why is she caring about her mother's second father? I mean, her mother's second husband that she didn't marry until she was grown and out of the house. And then that passionate kiss, are they having an affair? And he's afraid to tell Karen. That'll get him in a divorce. She gave Carl thrush. Carl is a severe diabetic. Her being dirty and nasty, he's never had thrush in his life. Not been on antibiotics. Don't use an inhaler. Where she looked all over his mouth, he had cake with it. He don't have a very good immune system. All that dirt implanted all over his mouth. Next day, his face looks swollen. Next day, more swollen. Third day, I'm like, it's really getting swollen. I said, you do realize how dirty she is. He's like, I know. I said, why didn't you push her off? He said, I was so froze, I didn't know what to do. I said, you should have punched her in the throat and yelled, rape. He said, I was so stunned. He said, I couldn't move. Do that to a 70-year-old man. Unwanted sexual advances by a stepdaughter, like everywhere I had to take him to the doctor and stuff. How disgusting. Sleazeball move. You know, those lady investigators said, we talked to the police. They said, they always said Karen could never lie to him. She can never lie to us. We have everything under police surveillance, and we can refer back to him. I won't lie anyways. Because then you got the fiasco of that courtroom. And then Bob and that his girlfriend Karen lying on their asses off. Laughing. That Deb told all of them, Carl has millions of dollars. It's a lie. She's a gold digger and got her money account. He's got $6,000. They took it all. Years ago, where oil wells went around his property. Not on him, around him. They put a pipeline through his property. So they gave him $180,000, then $140,000. Paid $50,000 out of one in taxes, $40,000 in another. I have over $60,000 in cash checks from those people that lied to the judge. They didn't take his money. Including Deb's husband, there's over $10,000. And I witnessed even the police and the FBI, another $4,000 she bullied him. And then that other Veronica, the other daughter, well, way more than that. I dig more in that checkbook, I'm going to find more. So where he said they came over and bullied him out over $50,000, I'm sure they did. Because I witnessed 6 in 2 months. So, but she tells everybody, and Carl said the big money's gone. It's a one-time settlement. It is. Then everybody for miles around gets so much percentage of the oil rights. You know, people get $100 check, $1,000 check. Matters how close your property is. Okay? A royalty. And with them continually bullying, well, they already took the big money. There is no more. They call him a liar. They think he gets that kind of money all the time. No, we don't. No, we don't. Everybody with a rational mind, it's a one-time settlement. Yeah. They can get little royalty checks here or there. Yeah. Big money's gone. They took it. Had to pay taxes. They took that. Had to pay taxes on that farm. Pay for Brenda's funeral. Headstone. His false teeth. Now, I can probably find more in that checkbook of what they took and didn't pay back. And lied to the judge, they didn't take it. And that Bob line that now the FBI and police all know, he only paid in November of last year and June of this year. Told that judge. Paid in cash every month. He didn't pay him. They lied. They got him for perjury out the wazoo. And his girlfriend Karen. And Dad. And when I go to, and that judge wouldn't issue a restraining order. No, we gotta move. Carl don't feel safe, and neither do I. And his son Rick, whether he's not right apparently mentally, telling him they better do something. She's going to take all those millions of dollars. It's not. They made it like Gary Audrey, his real daughter's husband, said it's believing the big lie. Make up a big lie and believe it. It's a big lie theory. They made up that big lie and now they believe it. His son Rick had told Carl and his daughter Audrey that he has plans to bash both me and his own father in the back of the head. Take us out to Youngstown. He's got attorneys set up and other people to find us both listed incompetent. Have everything signed over to him. They're going to put him in a nursing home out there, drop him. He's going to walk off with everything we own. They didn't know what they were going to do to me. Investigators are like, they're going to kill Karen. Had it planned, told them both. During my FBI case in 18, they were threatening me that we have it set up with an attorney and a doctor to find you insane or incompetent. Have everything signed over to them. I thought they were trying to scare me. It's a scam they're doing in Ohio. And apparently Youngstown is a dropping ground. It is real. Kidnapping people, fraud wrote up on them, throwing them in insane places or nursing homes and walking off with their money. This is extreme federal crimes. So where they said they actually have it set up in Youngstown, you know, if none of this should be happening, okay? None of it. None of it. If they'd be good, Carl's going to turn 80. He's 79 this year. In 10, 15 years, God forbid when the time comes and he passes, they would have got his farm. After Bub called him a fucking tight bastard last year, he got taken off the will. His late wife, Brenda, that raised her pieces of shit, told him he had to give half his farm and half his stuff to Bob, her son, nothing to his biological daughters. Well, after he was so horrible to him, he was going to give half to his son, Rick, and half to his daughter, Audrey. His own children. He's got another daughter, Desi, and I said, don't you think you ought to leave her something? Those are your kids, okay? And, but Brenda's there. He said they've already stole so much, they're not getting nothing. It's his money, his choice, his land. And in time, if they behaved, it would have been theirs. But now it's going to end up getting sold. And we'll have to move for safety. And if you threaten to kill someone over land that you are not entitled to, this entitlement of thinking you have the right to steal from people and victimize them, the psychosis of these people, the mental disorders they have of thinking they're entitled to other people's property and money. No one's entitled to nothing. Even if you're their children, they have a right not to leave you nothing. Nothing. It's your money, your land. You can give it to whoever you damn well please. You get nothing. You're entitled to nothing in this life. And when people realize, besides your paycheck, that you go out and work, you're entitled to nothing. This entitlement is sick, and it's a psychosis to people. That they can steal and they have the right. See, that's where, if you go back into my FBI case, These people, in thinking they are entitled to steal everything from me, harm me, entitled. Who gave them the entitlement? Their own deranged thoughts? Now, I want you to think about this. March 27th, 25, after midnight, I had stayed up and went through everything. Some guy was outside my client. Said, I'm glad she went through everything. I told Michelle I never want to see her again. I broke up with her. Yes, I'm good with it. He said, I got her to confess that when they bashed in the back of her head, they tried to kill her or leave her incompetent, and it didn't work. And the reason she doesn't know who that doctor is from before, he's not one of hers. He works for them, and they had lied. He was one of her doctors. She actually don't know who he is. He said, I even got it out of Dave that a girlfriend from before her made him marry her so he could get a job at her dad's factory, so she'd have free insurance and he could give her extra money. I even got it out of the Vegas. I asked him, why are you telling people it offended you that Strange called her a faker 6 months later? It had nothing to do with what happened. Because their father was speeding, ran a stop sign, and killed their kid. I wasn't even there. 6 months later, somebody lies on me. It has nothing to do with them. He asked him, well, why would you even say it offended you? It had nothing to do with you. Him, that Strange lying on her. They said it didn't. Didn't even concern them. Had nothing to do with them. They just lied so people would help out. They lied. In June, I had to go up to the Ravenna Portage County Courthouse. The guys in the courthouse helped work the case. There's a guy in khaki pants and polo shirt. He was talking to a bunch of people. He said, I heard John was dating Michelle to get stuff out of her. I heard they broke up and he's got all kinds of stuff. Oh, yeah. Walked out. Oh, and that guy outside my client's apartment on March 27th, 25, I got to find the agent over a case. So, Agent John, he came, told you. In March. September 18, 24, 8:30 in the morning, outside my client's up in Akron. This investigator telling the neighbor, we don't want you to say a word to her. That agent needs to get his facts straight before he puts his name on anything. It was a medication error made her sick before. Medication errors, like they said, it means fraud and medical malpractice. Wrong meds. It's a nice way of saying fraud. They didn't say allergic reaction. They said medication errors. It's a nice way of saying false diagnosis. The wrong meds. Didn't say allergic reaction. Medication errors. False diagnosis. Wrong meds. Nice way of saying fraud. Where my community health wrote it up, everything after the surgeries was fraud. Medical malpractice, medication errors. It almost killed me. Redocumented for years. Encouraged Dave and I to sue them. They would even represent us in court because they almost killed me. Proven when I got off the medication over 9 months, I slowly got well. It was the meds doing it. Okay? So, Agent John, I knew you knew that, right? You weren't scammed by a bunch of drug dealers, right? And What does it say on Phil and Tyler's death certificate? Vehicular homicide. Phil was speeding at such a high rate of speed. Blew through a stop sign in a semi. Brian said it was like a bomb went off. Phil was ripped into pieces. And Tyler, thrown through the air, was like a bomb. And slammed on the pavement. They both instantly died. Didn't even try to stop. Showing off in front of other church people. Her father murdered her kid. Up in Cleveland last year, a girl was going 100 miles an hour. Wrecked. She's in jail for murder. Her father would be in jail for murdering their son if he was alive. Speed ratio to even lose a limb, you have to be doing over 60. He was ripped into pieces. He's probably doing closer to 100. With their son in the car, showing off. Late for a church baseball game. If he wasn't speeding, if he would have stopped at the stop sign, they'd both be alive. But he was driving recklessly at a high rate of speed and killed them both. Her father murdered her kid. Like they said back in 2003. That family needs to learn to live with the shame of their father murdering their son. Teenagers, even a year ago, nobody say a word. She had nothing to do with that kid's death. And just because somebody made up a mean lie on her, that family just wanted someone to hurt someone, so they picked out her. They just wanted to hurt someone. Now I want you to think of the poor parents that the evil monster that actually killed their baby. They're so full of grief, they can't even see. They walk into a courtroom where they're being tried for killing their baby. And they have a gun and they killed the bastard that killed their baby. Because all they can see is their hurt and pain. They actually take out the person that killed their child. What happens? The deputies tackle them and they go to jail the rest of their life for murdering. They are not above the law and they are not the law. Bruno Manis. So why would the Vegas be allowed to have me harmed? Where do they have the entitlement? I had nothing to do with their kid's death. I had 6 to 10 surgeries, my muscles all locked up, went to a bunch of crackpots. My whole body swelled, gained over 150 pounds in 2 years, a year or two. My legs are so swollen, I'm having to go over the orthopedic doctors, have them drained. They're sliding out of place. My feet are numb from the swelling till I'm falling. Give me canes and braces to hold my legs together so I can walk. My thyroid shuts down, my adrenal gland shuts down. Heart attacks, seizures. They're lying so bad, they tell me I have level 2 brain tumors. I need part of my brain removed. I go to my doctor, my community health. The doctor put her hand up. Whoa, we need to have a long talk. Those doctors are known for lying. Falsely diagnosing people. Ripping them off, making them sick. And getting kickbacks from the drug company and sharing with associates and friends that are doing the same thing. It's documented fraud. It's a medication doing it. Get off, you'll be fine. Get an attorney, sue them. Turn out the state to pull your license. You're not the first one, the only one I've heard of. Then readdressed for years. They would represent us in court. They almost killed you. Got with Dr. Eli, he agreed it was meds. And over 9 months, slowly got well. Put me on fentanyl patches. We were calling them morphine patches. When the case started, they were actually fentanyl. They were stronger. Like Dr. Eli said, the only way to get locked muscles, the only thing's wrong with you is your muscles locked up from all those surgeries, is to move them. But you're in so much pain. I got to get you out enough pain to move. First month, lost 30 pounds. Started October, November 2002. By April, I'm almost well. I had to learn to walk on numb feet. Practicing and falling. Heart attacks and seizures stopped by the second month. Could drive a car. Did my own grocery shopping. Pull myself up and down streets, stores, malls for months and months. Practice walking at home, waddling and falling. Trying to learn to walk again, balancing. But the only thing was wrong with me was my muscles locked up. And I had so much swelling on my body. I had pneumonia several times. Like our doctor said, it's almost like you needed dialysis. You have so much swelling and liquid on your body. It took 9 months to go down. Slowly. And everything started working again within 2 months. They were killing me. By April, I'm almost well. I went from a 24 to a 16. May 3rd, 2003, Brian Laney showed up and told us about that accident. A bunch of people were late for a church baseball game. He was one lead car. Blew right through a stop sign in a semi. It was like an explosion. Killed it both instantly. I was at home with my whole family. They had to show up and tell us. Come July, I got well. In April, I can still see Tyler outside the church. I'm standing at the back door with my canes and braces in April. Vegas walk up. Karen, it's so good to see you at church again. Look how much weight you've lost. We always see you driving your car, doing your own grocery shopping, pulling yourself up and down streets and stores. You're going to beat this. I said, well, they talk about remission. It can't happen fast enough. You're going to beat it on your own. Well, come July, I got well. Anything to do with anything? No. Come November, my sister Linda's married to strangest kid, Tim. She had caught Tim out with Katie, another woman. Every time they go out, she'd follow him. She wouldn't confront him, but she'd follow him like a fool. She got caught. They thought it was me. He made up that lie. By Sunday, took my kid and pushed him to suicide. Make sure I wouldn't come back. Got rid of me real quick. Now, did that have anything to do with the Vegas? Oh. If somebody dies in January, somebody says something mean about somebody in July, does that have anything to do with what happened in January? No, not even connected. Nor if in May somebody dies and somebody makes up something mean on somebody in November, had nothing to do with what happened in May. It was 6 months ago. Not even connected. So them using their family's tragedy is disgusting and pathetic. You know, some guy was outside my class. He said, I even asked Rod, why would you even want to say anything? Couldn't stand watching her walk around, da-da-da-da. It was a medication error. It's the medicine making me sick. Almost killed me. They were rooting me on. I had to work my ass off. You know, it's not like Tyler had cancer, was hanging on, and da-da-da-da-da. He was murdered by Lisa's father. Mine was just medical malpractice and fraud. Almost killed me. And it took me 9 months to get well. Had nothing to do with them or concern them. So them saying they couldn't have me out, walk around, saying all kinds of stuff. Said, you didn't go to church with her. You didn't even see her. Why would you care? Couldn't stand the thought. Like teenage kids said, that family wanted to hurt someone, so they just picked out her. I had nothing to do with them. They had nothing to do with the 6 to 10 surgeries, my muscles locking up, those crackpots that almost killed me. And it is wound up as fraud. When they said medication errors, it means false diagnosis and wrong meds. Almost killed me. And where the police and the FBI, with a court order, had to go with me to the doctor. They said it in front of them. And I know the FBI can see your medical records. And it's redocumented for years as fraud. And encouraged to sue them. So why should they care? Because a bunch of doctors almost killed me with the wrong meds. It took me 9 months to get well. It has nothing to do with them. Like I said, they just wanted to hurt someone. You do realize even the FBI and police heard my mom say, Karen, I remember when you could take 5 steps and you'd fall, 3 steps and you'd fall. And you kept trying and trying. I know. I worked my ass off. Even Brian Laney in May, when he came over, I had just my braces on, trying to learn balance because we were replacing carpet upstairs. That's why all the kids didn't go to the baseball game. They were helping Dave. So I could do the steps and go up and down them. I didn't want to, I just waddled. You see me waddle outside with just my braces of don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Trying to learn to walk again, but I couldn't risk my knees popping out of place. Practicing. See, that's where took me 9 months to get well. And those arrogant son of a bitches thinking that they could have people harm me. Because the minister made up a lie, it had nothing to do with them. Like they told the agent that was dating Michelle. They lied, it offended him. Didn't even concern them. They just wanted people to help out. My car is bugged by the FBI. There's a recording of that agent saying that. Now, Agent John might know the FBI can see your medical records. It's wrote up as fraud, medical malpractice, medication errors. They're just ripping me off. Almost killed me. You knew that, right? You knew I had nothing to do with the Vegas and they were all bullshitting you. Trying to get away with murder. You're not stupid, right? Where Lighthouse Tabernacle, June 7th, 23, mocked you how you fell for this stunt it takes before. Oh, come on now. That FBI agent fell for it? You're kidding. John fell for the stunt it takes before that were only a stunt? You're kidding. Name and title cackle at you. Like the Stark County Sheriffs? We all know they made fun of Agent John for falling for this, and this whole thing's a mess. They're trying to get your case against all those drug dealers they were involved in thrown out. Technicality. As a case being fraud. That you opened it to steal the money from the government. My friend Grant, out of state as an FBI agent friend, even said you don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. You only hire a police officer, takes a judge in a jury trial, freedom of speech. Then when you say that, it's like, oh my God, it does. Criminal attorney, police I talked to, prosecutor's office. You only hire a police officer. You don't even have authority. Judge can't sign it because it's illegal for you to even say it. You don't have that kind of authority. You're just, no offense to police officers, but you're only a police officer. You can't tell people they can't say anything. Dear God, if the FBI could silence somebody, they would have silenced Trump last year. Only one could silence him was a judge. During the trial at the gag order. Remember? We have a freedom of speech. And then, you already told on me. And you confessed on a recorded live. I called the FBI hotline. Have an agent call you back. Next day, the phone's ringing. They have me so drugged up. Can't answer the phone. Rivers of tears running down my face. My sleep. I couldn't even stand up straight when I woke up later. Let that phone go to voicemail. Held on the wall to get to the bathroom, to the refrigerator, got back in bed. Listen, voicemail. This is Agent. Did it call me back? I can't. Okay. Next day, I'm not much better. The third day, made myself get up. Sitting on the front porch, I feel drunk, and I don't drink. What is wrong with me? Got enough air. Call one of my witnesses. I give the hotline. Will you witness for me? Yes. Went out and bought a card, put that agent's number in it from the voicemail. Dropped it off down at the mall. Her manager put it in a locker. Went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. They said it was you up there telling. Paul Pamer yelling at Dave. My God, I had an FBI agent. My office is right there. I walk off. Women come up. He knows she's being drugged, being raped, and he said he didn't care. Covered in bruises, lost 18 pounds, severely infected. Thought it was the well water gave me cancer because it was so dirty I was washing it. Go in and sit down. They follow me. Sits down behind me. He knows she's being drugged, being raped, and he said he didn't care. Then strangest liar calling me a faker. And if she's supposed to be mean to their women, he's going to turn her back over to him. Can you imagine an agent saying that? You told him you were going to defraud me. Dave comes in, let's go. Get out in the car, you called the FBI on me, I ought to kill you myself, goes for a loaded gun, put my hand on counsel. Got me beat all the way home. Ran from it, almost jumped on the highway, he was beating me. Next day, Rivers of Tears, I call you back. Recorded line. Attached to the case. Someone told on me, you liar. Tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me and a Giant Eagle. Calls me a liar. I tell him, he would start screaming about a camera above the bench. I don't know. I stayed alive that day. Got away from him. Almost passed out when he threatened to knife me. Dear God, I'm a little old lady. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. I was 51 when it started. I'm 58 and a half now. I said, I don't know if there's a camera above the bench. You say you're lying, I'll arrest you. He said, I said he tried to kidnap me before. Oh, come on now. Even if a church person seen him, they'd never verify it. I've met with that family in my office. The one her father murdered her kid. The one that said it didn't even concern him to an agent. They were lying. Those people. And all those church people in my office. And I know they're trying to kill you. And he said strangers lie. To cover up Tim and Katie. I said I really was sick before. Now, you've already had them in your office. They know the FBI's involved. I said I really was sick before. See, that's why I didn't tell you about Terry Copley. The witnessing the attempted kidnapping. Because you told me a church person wouldn't verify it. Now you say you're lying, I'll arrest you. I said, but he did try to kidnap me before. You said, or I'll put you in jail. It's like, fine, whatever. Now I want you to say you were faking you were sick. Well, that's ridiculous. Almost done. I said, I really was sick before. Oh, come on now. I've met with that family in my office. The one her father murdered her kid. The ones that said it didn't even affect them. They were lying to people. And all those church people, all the ones that were bullshitting you, trying to get away with murdering someone. And I know they're trying to kill you because strangers lie. Faking you were sick, faking you got well, took me 9 fucking months. I said I really was sick before. You need to realize what you've done, and I don't blame him for trying to kill you. Record a line, sweetie. Like they said, you really do talk to me that way. I said it really was like you say you're lying, or you are faking you were sick, or I'll leave it there. But they're trying to kill me. They've tried to kill me. So you say it, or I'll leave it there. Please don't let them kill me. Say it, or I'll leave it there. It's like, fine. Just don't let them kill me. Now, all those people have been in your office. No, I called the FBI. Then why would the FBI help a person like you? They're going to try to kill me, so. They've tried to kill me, so. Like, premeditated murder isn't a federal crime. The other agent yells out, we could always use Pete's tape or weird with yourself. I said, what are you talking about? Because it's photoshopped and by a man I never met. And the only Pete I know is my brother Medina. I hadn't seen him in years, but talked to him on the phone. Huh? I didn't even know who he was talking about. I said, what are you talking about? He said something else about Pete, and it has to be a black and blue mark. Found out it's some idiot my ex-husband hired on his own to run a drug scam. Still don't even know who he is. I said, what are you talking about? He's laughing. She don't know. Then he says something about a doctor I've never heard of. Like Michelle said, they lied. He's not one of her doctors. He works for them and they lied. She actually don't know who he is. I said, I don't even know who you're talking about. He kept laughing at me. He said, stop. She don't know. No, I don't. I don't even know who you're talking about now. Like they said, they lied. He works for them and they lied. She doesn't know who that doctor is. Well, I thought it was the other lady using my insurance. Half my medical bills I found out were Dave's girlfriend, another one. Defrauded me for 15 years. I found out my whole marriage was a scam. My God. I thought maybe where some other lady had ran up medical bills in my name, I thought maybe it was one of hers. No, it's just a big scam. The whole thing's a scam. He sounded like a nut. I said, what are you talking about? Stop, she don't know. Give me a real reason. My brother-in-law, Craig Davis, died March 26, 1990. Worked at the Pentagon. He was a private consultant for the FBI, unrestricted, did war weapons, spyware, and traveled the world. For my one boss is a spook here. That means a spy. He went undercover himself into other countries for a month to 45 days, no contact. Craig was the sweetest man you had ever met in your life. Geeky as hell. Handsome, tall. But the sweetest, kindest man in the world. And died working for our government. It was a traffic accident that took him out, and that was even suspicious. He had other attempts on his life before that. Nation lost a great man. Our family lost someone we loved dearly. I told him about him. He said, first of all, have you talked to any law enforcement about threats in your life? I said, the only two officers I've ever talked to, August 8 of 18, midnight light in the outside security system. I called 911. They came out and told me I looked like an alien orb, angry spirit, and told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. They didn't want to bother. You're kidding. I said, no, I've never even had my neighbors in my home. I don't know what you're talking about. Is that what's going on? He said, do you know if Dave's cheating? I said, I've never caught him. December 9th, 18, Dave verified I've never caught him with anyone. There was rumors of him cheating, but I never caught him. Okay? He said I could take you somewhere and leave you, but it comes with no money. But if you agree to get information on Dave and the churches, I can open an informant program. I can do that. Comes with $5,000 a month. I'm opening a card today. Do you know when you'll pick it up? I found out through Grant's friend that's an FBI agent. It was your job to hand me that card, not me pick it up. It's your job. It's your job. Okay? And you don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. You're only a hired police officer. It takes a judge due to the freedom of speech. You already have met with everybody, seen telling on me, and admitted on a record line you told on me. And everybody already knew. You said you'll have a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally dated against you again. And only for you would we do this for. Always put it back as if it never happened. You can't be legally charged for anything again for working this case. Without the chaos of the case, I have one traffic ticket. 1989. That's it. I am so squeaky clean. Dave used to call me Mary Poppins, practically perfect in every way. It makes me a good person. He just liked making fun of me. But a life of peace is an informant, nothing legally dated against you again. Only for you and only for you would we ever do this for. We'll always put it back as if it never happened. You can't be legally charged ever again for working this case, and you have that money to live on. Admit to no wrongdoing, and I'll take care of everything in the end. But if you try to tell someone, I'll tell people you're crazy, and the FBI won't help you. But if you need help and you can't get a hold of me, the chief of police of Canton is my best friend, and he's a good man, and you can trust him, and he'll make sure the Canton police will always protect you. I told Walter Moss, he worked at the Stark County Prosecutor's Office at that time, crossed his arms, chuckled till he had tears. Chuckled. First of all, that agent doesn't have enough authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. It takes a judge in a jury trial. Freedom of speech. He's only a hired police officer. The police know they can't go along with that. It's illegal for him to even say it. Can't be in a court order because no judge could sign it because only a judge can put a gag order on you. If the FBI could put a gag order on anybody, they would have put it on Trump last year. But it took the judge in the jury trial only, during a jury trial. So did a criminal attorney and the police I talked to. He was only bullying you for them to get away with this. You get the money for working the case and risking your life to get them information, and they owe you the rest of your life. Karen, you don't realize you are in one of the many witness protection programs. Informants are different. You stay yourself and feed them information. You tell whatever you want. They can't even ask you to stay quiet. It's illegal. You have a freedom of speech. You're not only in an informant case, but a threat and attempt to lie case. It can never be closed. The only way the FBI could ever close it is if they put you in another witness protection program. And until they do, you'll stay an informant for life. You'll stay in immunity for life. You are to get that money for risking your life to get them information. And the government owes you. That agent cannot withhold it. He cannot misdirect it. He can't make up his own rules. It's only for getting information. Criminal attorney said the same thing. So did Grant's friend that's an FBI agent out of state. He said if that really happened, the only one that could have stole the money is you. And it was your responsibility to hand it to me. See, where these people are acting like this is a county case, it's a federal case, it's an FBI case. All judges in Ohio are either federal or state. They're not county. Their authority reaches throughout the whole state. So where the judge signed the court order for protection, for immunity, for money, and police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements with a court order without a conflict of interest. See, that's where that agent talked to Dave, got his statement. Dave said he told Danny, he talked to you when I walked off at that church. He met you in person. See, they're trying to get Agent John's case thrown out as fraud. Where in 18 they were running around Walmart. Well, you say one word, what we're doing? Well, to call you a liar. Well, say you're not credible. You can't testify in court against us. They don't want my testimony. They want the police surveillance with a court order. And nothing can be used. Because if you list the informant a liar or not credible, we're right on Google. The police can never say that about an informant. They are to be arrested, obstruction of justice, tampering with a witness, and aiding and abetting crimes. They can never call an FBI informant not credible or a liar. Go to jail for it. Because the integrity of the case of where they got their information or a tip, they can't use it. It's fraud. See, that's where the cartel came up with a backup plan. And see where they're telling everyone you just opened the case to steal from the government. And you did it for fraud and to defraud me. See, if you don't pay me, it's fraud. You work somebody without pay is slavery. It's a form of human trafficking. It's illegal to work somebody without pay. You don't have the authority. It can't be in the court order. It's illegal. See, that's where every drug cartel, they got off. They're trying to get them to walk. Where they said Melissa's attorney, divorce attorney against John, thought he had to take his mom out. So make sure Melissa got everything. The fool's afraid of a 51-year-old fat woman in a skirt. Dave hired some guy named Pete on his own, got the cartel involved. Make sure Dave got everything. Now Melissa's divorce attorney went after the FBI case when they actually opened a real case. And now is trying to get all the drug cartel released they got off the case. You do realize where we're part of the nationwide human trafficking scam. Where the Judge Peters from Florida, they were at Faith Family Church. Michelle was with them. The guy that looked like a trained Santa Claus, the one impersonating a retired Judge Pete from the Ravenna courthouse, friends with Ludick, letting him get away with crimes. The fake Portage County sheriffs with him that work for him. Retired judges do not have police working for them. It's right on Google. But those men said, most of them, that they were from Florida and worked for Judge Peters. Because their men was up here running this scam and grabbing people. Judge Peters in Florida and 100 men went to jail. They got him. Where they were even in the mall were drug traders and human traffickers from Florida. We worked for Judge Peters. We're relocating people to the Florida resort area. The FBI got Judge Peters and 100 men in 22. Because their men were up here bragging that they were the ones hurting me and hurting me before. At Faith Family Church in front of 3,000 people. Starr County Sheriff's Feds. Tess seen them. Keith Shapiro seen them. And 3,000 other people, and then other places they were following me. The ones for We All Work for the King from Texas, We Are His Men, Dave hired us, who's drug lord. He's a U.S. military Iraqi translator, went into the dark web malware found. Okay. That's where the Muslim men, the Muslim women who had jobs, the Iraqi show up. They're all after him and his men. The Buffalo, New York human trafficking group got arrested. Several cartels out of Michigan, California, and other ones. They played a game of different cartels paying for the harassment each day, where they'd show up and laugh in my face. They were getting away with these crimes, and who they worked for had cops and feds follow me, going after them. Got enough information and blew the hell out of the cartel. Every human trafficker, every drug cartel person that Melissa's divorce attorney, they are bragging, is trying to get them to walk. Where on September 10th, 25, I was in the Tuscarawas County Courthouse. We tried to get a restraining order against my husband's second wife's children because they've taken so much money and are threatening him. That judge was crooked, and like the attorney said, I've never seen such a circus show in a courtroom and a judge allowing it. But at least she still has a robe on in the hallway. You know they are bugged, those courthouses. My phone is tapped from the FBI case. They were down here saying she's the biggest liar. Nothing she says is credible. And everyone's to get even with her. So she's going to let my husband die. They need to arrest her for that. They need to find out who was down there. Then behind the door as I walked by, I had the right to do those things to her. Had a right to know what I was up against. Because Melissa's divorce attorney is afraid of an old fat woman in a skirt. Thinks he has to take her out. He had no right. Talk about, it's right on Google. Attorneys can never set up on cameras in your home. They are to be disbarred and criminally charged. Felony invasion of privacy, cyberstalking. Where they said they had special permission. It takes a court order in police and agencies only. Portage County Sheriff's, I confronted them. They knew nothing of this. Dave told my son Danny, April 16th, 23, where I was talking to him. I had been asking him if they knew any of this. He said, I finally went to Dad. He was across the parking lot talking to Gabe, my grown grandson. Finally went to Dad, asking what on earth is going on. He said he hired some guy named Pete on his own. It was Pete and his men in her home before. Pete has her frame. Pete has her taped. The filthy, dirty stain. I never met him. He was talking about one of my black and blue marks. Probably my rapist. It's just some guy Dave hired. Never met him. They have admitted they used hypnotic drugs on me. Where they admitted from the beginning they had drugged me and told me to say stuff before, photoshopped all the lies, how they framed me. 18, 19. Laughing in my face. August 4th, 25, they admitted they used hypnotic drugs on me to make me sleepwalk. That's why I had a mental taste in my mouth. And she has no memory of what those people did. I never had them in my home. I thought the well water was giving me cancer. August 5th, 25, Dutch Valley Restaurant. Girls were talking as if Agent John didn't know. They used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before, and she has no memory. He was telling people he knew she was being drugged, being raped before the case started. Is he some kind of coward? He even let them torture her. August 7th, they found that in Walmart, the tapes that I'm saying now. August 31st, 25 Summit Mall, Macy's, upstairs. Then they have it that it's documented and verified they used hypnotic drugs on me when they drugged me and told me to say it before. And they called Agent John a coward.